Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have on musician Mike Mantione, who you might know from his band 5/8. We discussed his life now that his kids are adults and out of the house, our shared love of the Athens Georgia music scene, creativity and AI, his openness to discuss mental health, balancing working a full-time job, being a dad, a husband, and trying to record music at the end of the day, how meditation has changed his life, and how he goes from work to family mode and wanting to be more present for his family. Check out 58.com. That's the number spelled out, where you can find a documentary about their band on DVD and Blu-ray, and they'll be releasing an album this year, so make sure to check it out to find out more information on them. And also, just like one more thing...
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad.
Awesome. You're in Nashville.
Not anymore. So I used to be in Nashville. I am now in Denver suburbs.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Two of my children are in Denver.
Wait, really? Where are they at?
They're in kind of in this neighborhood. I don't exactly know the name of it. I was over there visiting them. One is Lyric. She's 32, and one is Orion. And Orion's married, and he's 31. So they were really close together.
Oh my gosh.
They're like 5 minutes from each other right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
it's quite awesome.
I lived in Nashville for 18 years. So
yeah, and I think I've heard about the thing being called Nashville Dads, and then
yes.
Great.
And then it was kind of hard to keep
Awesome.
the name the Nashville Dads when you don't live in Nashville.
Yeah,
So
I saw you. Looks great.
yes.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
You've been doing would you say music is your full-time career? I know you've done music for at least like 30 years or so, right?
Yeah, no, it is no longer my full-time career. My full-time career, it's gotten I've gotten more involved in music this past year than I have in a long time.
Okay.
And part of that is because, my duties as dad have dropped off significantly since my daughter went away to college. So my youngest, Maggie. So I moved to Athens, Georgia to be a musician, and did it, full time for about, really, 12, 13 years with a band called 5/8.
Yeah.
And we traveled all over the country, did a bunch of stuff. And then the band sort of almost broke up in the late 90s. And then we found another drummer and kept going. And then we had even more success at that point in 2004. Hit a run for a little while. Got to tour with REM and did a bunch of really fun stuff. Yeah. But as a dad, it was navigating divorce and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was pretty crazy. I had a heck of a time.
Yeah. It's interesting to a lot of musicians who are, like in their 50s or so that have interviewed are usually on their second marriage.
That's right.
And have had a new chapter to their life, I guess is the nicest way to put it.
Well, if you're doing 200 dates a year, there's not a lot of time to be a dad.
There's not.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I was just talking to my oldest tonight. She's also a singer-songwriter and puts her records out, Lyric, and they have had a lot of feelings about me not being home, and we've bonded. As she's gotten older, we've really bond has deepened, and I get calls from them, at least 5 times a week,
Really?
So so I keep in touch with them, and their fiance Chris, quite frequently, and we share stories about songwriting and just being an artist. How difficult it is when you're
absolutely,
and but how you just love it, and there's no way you can't do it. So it's gratifying to see that. And everybody in the family is very creative. And my son Dylan is a performance major at GSU,
Hmm.
and he's a percussion major. So he's really picked up and he's gone full on into it. And
Yeah.
so it's been, and we went through some really tough stuff when he was younger, and having to navigate, how to, create a safe environment for him. Really, our relationship deepened when I kind of picked up meditation as a way to cope with, just dealing with being a dad, and just sort of all sorts of stuff, and that really changed our lives
Yeah.
significantly.
That's awesome. No,
But
I'm a big fan of meditation. I think
yeah,
it's really important to notice whenever you are. I feel like parents are more willing to discuss like I'm really overstimulated. I'm
right,
spread thin as hell.
yeah,
And like before it's just like, hey, just grin and bear it. This is part of being a parent. And now it's like,
right.
no, man, just go take like 10 minutes, recenter. Like you're gonna be better forever.
Oh no, question. I mean, it was like an immediate thing. Everyone noticed when I started meditating. I mean, it was like my wife, the two kids that were living at home, the three kids that would come and I mean, it was like, wow, what happened to dad? It was like,
Yeah.
because I came from an Italian family. I'm sort
Oh,
of a
dude.
hothead,
Yeah.
not at all, you know, and really creative, but fun loving, but still, I've got a big personality,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, that can not be the greatest thing.
Hmm.
And so it was interesting. I remember thinking that he needed help because he was angry. And when I picked up some workbook, and it was like, what to do with your angry kid. And basically the workbook was literally 35 things you could do in a year to change the way you parented your child. It had nothing to do with the kid at all.
Yeah. 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 It just made you realize what example you were setting every single day.
Right. And
Yeah.
so the meditation became key to that whole change. And I really followed that program for a long time. Had journaling and made it a part of my life. It was great. It worked out great, and became it was just awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And I feel like I did get to watch your documentary that I know you guys just did. Your publicist sent
Wow.
me the
Okay.
link to it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
watched
cool.
the first hour and 20 minutes of it. So I think I
Yeah.
still got a
You
little bit.
got it.
I
You
got
got
a
more than
gist.
this.
I got the gist of
Goes on
it.
and on
As
and
I've seen your
on.
face and listened to your voice for a bit in the last couple of days.
Brutal.
But all that to say, I mean, I feel like you've always been in tune with, or at least what you've said in that documentary is very much like mental health is something you've always focused on, the expression of it and being in tune with like your mental space seems to be something that is like a priority for you as an individual and as an
Yeah.
artist.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say it's one of the number one things, because you can't, if you don't have your stuff together, there's
Yeah.
nothing you can give to anyone else.
No,
I
there
mean,
isn't.
it's not going to happen. And it becomes very obvious to everyone else. I mean, people can see
Mm-hmm.
someone who's angry and miserable coming a mile away. They
Yep.
can just see it.
Yep.
So, and that unhappiness is, for a child, is the most scary thing in the world. So I think, for dads, it really, it's super great and empowering to understand that, to take time for yourself to heal, or
Mm-hmm.
to really find what is moving, and where your loving kindness can come from, changes everything for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I pulled out, I pulled out one of my old journals, and I had, they have these crazy things, like the first thing they tell you to do is like, don't yell
Mm-hmm.
ever. But it got down to like, don't sigh. It was like in how you have conversations, because like, after I stopped yelling, everyone was like, wow, there's no more yelling in it. But, and I realized people become attuned to whatever the level
Yeah.
of, and a family can be chaotic, or it
Mm-hmm.
can be really an amazing experience. We just had a killer trip up to New York with like zero drama.
Oh,
It was
nice.
my two oldest. I mean, my two oldest were my wife now, Kelly, Maggie, and Dylan. We went up with their significant others, and so the six of us in a van driving up to Manhattan, and just had the greatest time.
Nice.
Visited my sister and her daughter, and it was just really great to have all the families come together and just have this great time, and
Yeah.
go to the MoMA, and just do all sorts
Sweet.
of
Yeah.
all the awesome art that is in that. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
it's great.
Very much so. But
But
part of that takes like knowing yourself, knowing whenever you're
right,
like, hey, I'm not centered. Hey, everyone's pissing me off. And
right,
instead of, I think it's a form of maturity, right? Instead of just screaming at everyone and because you're mad at something, just sit
right.
down for a moment and be like, hey man, you're not in a good headspace. take a walk, come back in 5 minutes. Don't ruin this whole trip. Just eat a
Right.
snack. You'll be fine.
Snacks are so important.
Dude, they are. It sucks, but it does.
It's like low blood sugar. Such an easy thing to take care of.
It is. Well, you do it with like little kids, like a 4-year-old's grumpy, and you're like, hey man,
Yeah.
here's an applesauce pouch, or
Right.
here's a yogurt or something. But like if I'm grumpy, it's like, dude, just eat some protein. You'll be fine. Like stop
Right,
it.
exactly. Yes.
Where
That's
where are
awesome.
you based out of now? Are you still in Athens?
No, so I'm based in Atlanta now.
Cool. Okay.
And we're doing the multi-generational living thing. So we just have my
Cool.
in-laws. My in-laws just moved into our basement.
hmm
We got rid of the kids and now we have the in-laws here. So it's like
Never a dull moment, man. Never a dull
but then
moment.
I had both kids here last night. Um, and it was great. And we had everybody around. It's just I do love the family and everybody. They just seem to come back, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And it's just and with all the music and everything, it's just really fun. Yeah, so we live in Atlanta. I work in Athens. I'm a contractor, and
Okay.
that's how I make my money now. So I do commercial residential contracting. I got my
Yeah.
license. I learned how to be a contractor back in like, 99
hmm
when the band kind of started really came off the road,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah. I had lots of friends in Nashville where they picked up contracting because I was like, all right, man, I got the summer on the road, and then I don't got a guarantee.
that's right.
So I would like to still eat and keep the roof over my family's head.
That's right. It's a
Big
great way to
needs.
it's not
Yeah.
going to get replaced by AI and
It can't.
you
Oh God,
you
please tell me it can't.
AI is going to collapse. It's a bunch of bullshit. It really is. It's just such a, oh my God. We try to use it, and at where I work right now, we actually tried to use it to make a podcast, and
Did
it
you
became,
really?
oh yeah, yeah. We had like 3 episodes, and it was like I got to the 45-minute long podcast with AI generated voices with a script that was AI generated, and it was like for construction people,
Yeah.
it was like, and I was like, I can't. I told my boss, I can't do this anymore. It's immoral. It's just soulless. It's
There's no
killing me.
soul. There's nothing
No,
here.
there's nothing here. It's like slop, and it's just coming in from everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But also though,
more kudos
I would
to you for just getting out
still
and
doing this,
still.
right?
No, I'm serious.
Thank
It's
you.
so important. It's
Yes.
so fucking important. Oh my
I was
God.
gonna ask you.
Pardon my French.
Now you're good. You can curse on this. Don't worry. People curse on this all the time. You're good. Yeah.
Oh,
This is a podcast about family life. It's not a podcast for
okay.
family life. You know,
Yeah.
there's a distinction there. I would imagine with you've spent most of your life being in tune with creativity and like creative forces, expression, and all that. I would imagine. I mean, AI scares me because of watching. Like, I have friends who might lose jobs as studio musicians because people would rather use AI to make music than real people, and for so many reasons it offends me. There's so much creative love that's out there in the world that like AI destroys, in my opinion. And I don't want to tangent too much on this, but I'm sure you agree with that sentiment.
No, I think it's really important to talk about
Okay.
as a father, because all right, look, it's like my son is becoming a musician, and he's
Mhm.
and what at first I was thinking it was totally irreplaceable, but then as I seen how AI has filtered in to everything we do. I think the
Yep.
New York Times had an article back in November where the guy tried to go 48 hours without AI and literally was like he had to buy a bicycle from 1972, had like
Yeah.
what was I mean, it was like everything that he was part of was
Yeah.
being yeah, and so it's ubiquitous, but it's also, like you said, it really takes away from what's important, the human connection. And at first I thought, especially last year, I was thinking, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great tool to use. I really did. I was thinking this is really, for somebody like me, I've got so much, I don't have a lot of time. It's
Mhm.
awesome. I can just whip this stuff together. And then I realized, no, without my hand on it, not even my hand on it, without me generating every bit of it, it doesn't work. I can't use it for songwriting. It's utterly useless. I mean,
Mhm.
there was an app on the iPhone for a little while that was making little drum beats,
Mhm.
and I was using that drum beat, and then I realized, no, this cannot happen. So I started just making videos of me just doing my song without just me on the phone,
Mhm.
just playing music. that are songs that I've written, just the choruses, just to give people a space for like what that performance is and what it means to be a performing artist, and I found myself kind of one of my band members just really was in tune to this immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and who also had a podcast on and off for a few musicians
Mm-hmm.
who suffer from mental illness and addiction. He just had this take on AI that it's actually immoral just to get involved in utilizing it in any way creatively,
Yeah.
because it's stealing
Yeah.
constantly from us,
Yeah.
and so, and it's also completely inaccurate. I mean, if you use it for construction whatsoever,
Yeah.
it's making mistakes that you would never make in a million
Yeah.
years.
The only thing I've ever used it for is like admin related. So like if I'm doing something on Instagram or something like that, like I'm doing a post
Right.
for an episode, I'll be like, hey,
Sure.
make the algorithm like this text better. Something like that. That's the
Hmm.
only, because like I know what I usually do, like on this episode we talked about da 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 da. So I'm just
Okay,
like,
interesting. Yeah,
make this sound better so that SEO, all this stuff will like it more. Because
interesting.
to me, I don't feel like I'm sure I'm taking away a job in some form there, but to me, that's not creative. Tell me how to, like, I mean, you're a musician. Trying to get people to pay attention to your stuff is exhausting. To trying to get anyone to know you exist is exhausting whenever you're a creative person. So if that helps me break through something because
Yeah.
I used a word selection or a keyword that it now likes, cool. Help me out here,
Right.
man.
Yeah, you're kind of letting the gaming system game
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that's fine. I see what you mean with that. And I haven't done that, but I'm. It is it's nearly impossible if you're not posting every single day, twice a day. It's almost impossible to really break into the algorithm in a way that makes you viral. I mean, my sister does it, and my Gabriel, the middle child, they have a comedy show, and they've broken recently this week. She's a trans comedian
Okay.
and just has a great thing. But once again, it's just short snippets done every
Mm-hmm.
single day.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like,
Here's
it's
30
just
seconds posted at 11 a.m. Here's 30
right.
seconds posted at 2 p.m. Repeat
That's
for
right.
5 days. Yeah.
Exactly. Man, it's brutal. Well, I was just thinking the amount of work it takes to get that 35 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half for
It
every
is.
35 seconds.
It is
at least.
basically. Yeah.
Yep.
But what I was going to ask you is whenever you record, I feel like recording music over the past couple of decades has changed drastically, in which like I could record your
Yeah.
vocal part right now and I could send it over to you. Are you okay with that for creativity? Or do you like to be in the studio, maybe 2 or 3 takes per song and like the live energy versus the, hey man, here's a drum beat. Hey man, here's a guitar lick. Hey man, here's a vocal part.
It's interesting that you say that because it's a crapshoot.
Mm-hmm.
It costs a lot of money to record a band live.
It does.
And if you're running through all that
Yeah.
can be difficult. The last record we did, the band's all recorded live.
Okay.
I'm not good enough or practiced enough to be able to go in and do the vocals and sometimes the guitar work at the same time because I'm singing and playing at the same time to get it on those takes. But I wanted live energy. We did it to tape. We did it to analog tape.
Cool.
And then and then I came back in over a period of 2 years, in the evenings when it wasn't interrupting family time.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? And I got in there and got my parts done. But I don't like to work home and then send it in. I know some people who do that, and but once again, like a pedal steel player, he'll fly them in. He'll take the tracks and he's got a recording studio at home. He feels more comfortable. He's not under any pressure. He can repeat and that's great.
Yeah.
So he gets the take he wants and he sends it in. We all love it. Sounds great. Not a problem. I'll take that. But when we were doing the last 5/8 record that's going to come out in March or April this year,
Mm-hmm.
that one was done with the idea to make it as live as possible.
Yeah.
We did it with Dave Barbie at a recording studio in Athens called Chase Park Transductions.
Nice.
Yeah, they're a great studio.
Yeah. Now, how much do you love Athens? Because I feel like Athens, I still have yet to ever go to Athens. I love, like, I grew up in Indiana. So, like, the Midwest college town, like Bloomington, Lawrence.
Yeah, Bloomington's amazing. Yeah.
Bloomington's great because it's like this very beautiful creative space where people, since they're in college, they're so focused on curiosity and exploration and everything. And like, Athens is like one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most underrated music scenes ever. Besides REM, I'm a massive like of Montreal fan. Also, like Athens,
Okay, yeah,
Georgia has
guy's a
tons of
super
music.
genius.
Yeah, that
He's a
like
super genius.
Kevin Barnes is like insane. Where
My
I'm like,
God, yeah.
can you be a normal person, Kevin Barnes? Because you seem so intelligent
I
and
don't.
in your
I
own
think
world.
he is. He's a dad. There's a
He
dad
is,
that you
yes.
can talk to. Yeah, Kevin Barnes. Yeah, absolutely. Me and Gabriel saw him at an AthFest show, and it was. I mean, I wept. It was a brilliant, brilliant show, and he's a master. Yeah, and because you got the drive-by truckers,
Mm-hmm.
you've got the B-52s.
Yeah.
How crazy is the B-52s and REM happening with Pylon in like a 4 mile radius? In a little podunk town in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I came down.
Is it
I
really?
came
Yeah.
down to yes. That's why I moved from New York to be down here because of the way that the magnet of that kind of creativity. And there were so many other bands: Flat Duo Jets, the Bloodkin. Then later on, you had Widespread Panic.
But yeah.
I mean, and then of course Neutral Milk Hotel came here,
Mm-hmm.
and you had Olivia Tremor Control. I mean, you had so many amazing bands playing and recording and different scenes, not
Yeah.
just one type of music. I mean,
No,
just
not at all.
like wildly different. Like some scenes are like, oh, there's a Minneapolis sound at one point,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or there's Prince, and
Yeah.
there's, but man, Athens, holy cow, it's crazy.
Do you feel like you're able to still like, because yeah, in my 20s and like teenage years, I kept up with like every band possible. I would find like Omaha, Nebraska had a really big music scene I was
Yeah,
obsessed
that's
with.
right. Yeah, it
Now
was.
now in my like late 30s, I'm like, man, I'm not the best at keeping up with new music. Do you feel like you are able to keep up with new music and new trends and all that?
I'm not, I can't, like, there's people out there that are digesting an album a day.
It's insane, isn't it?
There's so much music out there right now.
Yeah.
I just love new music.
Yeah.
I love to discover new bands. I thought I was discovering a new band about 6 months ago. It was like Geese,
Geese, yeah.
And then I realized, oh shit, everybody already knew about them. But
You're old news, man.
dude, I'm like one of those old guys who's like, this band's great, and everyone's like, dude,
3 albums ago.
go back to, yeah. You didn't hear Propeller? Forget about it. Did you
No.
hear before Propeller? I mean, it's like, no. I mean, but yeah. So there's tons of new bands in Athens. I do not know them all.
No,
but
I don't expect you to.
I'll tell you one thing that Athens does too,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can see them all, is like there's like twice a year where a ton of local bands play, and you can just go and see. Like, so there's AFest, and then there's this thing called Porch Fest
Okay.
in the fall.
That's cool.
And it's the greatest thing in the world because you just walk around town and everybody's got their kids with them, and they're just seeing every band that you hadn't been able to see because you're on tour. Or the touring bands are all home for this one day. So you're seeing Vision Video and now their new band. I mean, it's like, just like that, so Dusty Gannon and the, oh God, I can't remember it.
I'm at the point in life where you could say anything and be like, sure, that's a band. Like
He's great though. This guy's he's totally viral. He had a band named Vision Video, which was a video store in Athens. He named it after that.
Yeah.
And he's like a goth dad. He calls himself goth dad, and he's political and he's well spoken. He does everything I can't possibly do, and I just love it. And it's just fucking what a genius.
When people are concise and can make a point, I'm like, how did you do that? Because I keep saying words. I make the point and I keep talking. I want to ask you about like creative mental space. So you just kind of alluded to that, like you recorded this album and over the course of like 2 years, you did vocal takes. So that means in my head, that means you would have worked a full day, come home, eat dinner, try to connect with your family at all, then go to the studio. How the hell did you find energy after a full day of work to go record vocals? Because like, I don't know. That's impressive. And how'd you figure that out? How did you do that?
It's just awesome. I love making music.
Okay.
So it's a passion of mine, and I share it with the family. They love the bands I'm in, and so there's serendipity, and there's also, you work a job, and I'll ride my bike after work. I'll do a little bike ride maybe for an hour, and then I would hit the studio, and the studio would happen its own world. Sometimes it was incredibly difficult that I actually canceled sessions. We had uh my youngest daughter had a hell of a time in her later teens.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was tough.
Yeah.
And there were times when I had to put the music down.
Mm-hmm.
As a dad, you just have to, this is, I can't do this. I don't have there is no available energy, and it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so and those times were important, and I think every dad knows it. It's like there's a point where you can't and a lot of times, I can't let work get involved in the family life. I used to do this thing especially once I started meditating, I would realize that the toughest transition was coming home from work and walking in that door and having everybody have a different agenda ready for me. My wife worked at home, so she was there, and that was one thing. But when you're like making a transition from a car ride to the home, and you've got kids that are having trouble, or just they're not in a good space, and we had that COVID thing go down when they were teenagers, so it was tough.
Yeah.
Holy cow, it was tough. And we were living in a time in Athens, and eventually we moved as a family to change the environment that everyone was in. And that's how we got to Atlanta.
Okay.
And we made a move for the family with teenagers in the middle of their sophomore to junior year and freshman year, so that people knew we meant business and that change had to happen. And it did, but it took a minute.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was not really doing a whole lot with music.
Nor should
and that's
you.
probably and that was, but I kept it alive. And what I would do is, when I did have the time, I would talk to Kelly and say, hey, look, I've got this one time where I want to do this one show. And I remember one show, this one night we're going to do one show, and that show I probably should have canceled.
Yeah. Yep.
It was like, you know what I mean? Because I don't know if you've ever tried to plan out something that you want to do.
I buy concert tickets day of.
Right.
Because kids throws up. My wife's, I'm a stay-at-home parent. Sometimes my wife is like, hey, by the way, I actually have to leave tomorrow because I got to do this business meeting. I got blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so it's rare for me, unless it's on a weekend night, it's rare for me to buy a concert ticket, not day of.
Even because reality. Your best deals are happening then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. It's like, hey, it's an hour before the show.
Geese was going for like $500 a ticket this past, and I got a $49 ticket to their show, dude.
I'm 20 minutes from Red Rocks. I did that for Arcade Fire. Arcade Fire played Funeral from like start to finish, then came out and did a second set. But it was like, show was at 8 and at 7. I was like, I just found a ticket for less than $100. I will see the whole family later, and this is fantastic. But no, like, trying to plan, I think that's one of the hardest things about being a parent is you want to carve out time for yourself. You want to carve out time so you can reconnect with yourself, you can know yourself, but also not at the expense of your family.
Right.
I'm not going to a concert if it makes my family life worse. I don't want to justify that. I don't want to normalize that, because that's nothing about that. Do I become the dad, person, husband that I think I should be in that scenario?
Yeah, and it doesn't really work to be super selfish in a situation where you have 5 people depending upon you. It's like it's not happening. It's not happening. Everyone, once again, I'll go back to my original point. People see you coming a mile away, and they gear up for your crap.
Yep.
And I think that, I'm lucky because my job is super flexible, and it's always been really, really flexible. But it does take a lot out of you to be a contractor. And if you're dealing with really hard subcontractors, it's a very personality driven thing. And I'm not doing the physical labor work. I'm doing all the talking to the clients that are mad because the guy didn't show up. And I'm doing that thing, and I'm doing all the math, and I'm doing all the estimated, that kind of stuff takes a toll mentally. So when you come in the house, if you've got that stuff spinning, everybody sees it.
Yeah.
They don't want to see that. They want to see daddy like, hey man, I'm so bad. Because when the light's on for them, it's like they love it, and so much happens. So much amazing stuff happens. And I was going to go back to your other point about music.
Yeah.
The kids bring me music all the time.
Heck yeah, that's cool.
And that is freaking amazing. Starting around 12, every single one of them started just throwing. I mean, they throw bands at me all the time. I mean, it's great. I don't always get what they're throwing.
Do your kids like?
Not gonna
Do your kids like music that you play? Because my kids are in like a massive Taylor Swift, Disney pop era of life
Yeah,
because they're
of course,
7
that's
and
beautiful.
9.
Yeah.
But like I am not the target demographic, so it is difficult sometimes for me to be super into Zombies 4.
Oh yeah.
So
No, what is it like? K-pop.
K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm okay with K-pop Demon Hunters. It's
K-pop
pretty
Demon
good.
Hunters is rough. I missed that. Thank God. But I got the Taylor Swift thing from 2 daughters. I mean, it was like, I mean, it was crazy. Oh yeah.
Yes. But that's always fun to me because they'll be like, Dad, you need to listen to this. And I'm like, yeah. So I was listening to The National before this, which is very sad and droning. And this is a dance party. So let me catch up. This is about me. This isn't about you. So give me a second, Eric.
Exactly. This isn't the music. It's just Dad's not really ready for. I mean, I was getting like Tyler the Creator. You know,
Yeah.
It's like, Daddy, you gotta hear this. This guy's a genius.
He is a
sober.
Genius. He is a
He's
genius.
sober, and I was like,
what did
I was like,
just listen to?
It was like amazing, but I mean, it took.
Yeah.
Going from Husker Du to Tyler the Creator, it worked.
You can figure it out. You can figure it out, but that's how I feel about a lot of like singers. How I approach music now is like I listen to a lot of singer-songwriters, Americana stuff.
Awesome. Yeah,
and if I don't feel it, then I'm like, it's probably who I am. Like, it's just my mood today. Like, they're still doing their thing. They're crafting beautiful stories and all that. I don't care today. So tomorrow I'll try again. Maybe I'll care.
I don't care. I love it. That's so funny.
It's kind of true. Have you found anything, like, whenever your kids were home, did you find anything that helped you with that transition? Because, like, creative type, not creative type, whatever, that transition from I was just in a work mindset for 8, sometimes 9 hours, and now I have to be playful, fun, and a dad. Did you find anything that like consistently helped you transition that, or is it always just kind of a daily battle?
It was a daily battle, but I had a consistent way. The main thing was to remember that I'm making the transition, just to be aware.
Yeah.
I think the awareness is huge. If you know what's going on with you, you're like, it's the conversation we have with ourselves is the most important one we're having, right?
Yeah.
It's not what we're telling them. It's what I'm saying to myself when I'm walking in the door.
Yeah.
These are the people that I love. I'm here to pay attention to them. When I turn my light on them, they're going to shine. And there's nothing, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to think about anything. I can just be there. A lot of times being quiet and just listening and really paying attention, put the phone down and not just being present for people, all the difference in the world. It's a completely different world.
It takes so much intentionality.
If I'm trying to multitask, you have to. That's right. But if you're multitasking, forget it. It's over. Game over.
Yeah, pretty much.
Game over.
Yep. That's the only thing I hate about an Apple Watch is it is connected to my phone. So yeah, I'll like put my phone on a charger in a different room.
Right.
Then I get a text message. And I'm like, oh, I really want to respond to that. And it's
this is not the Apple Watch is away.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And I do have to do that. I still have to do that. I mean, when I'm coming home now, I have to make sure that I make the transition into the door. I think anybody has to do that. I mean, you just, if you're aware, you can really be, it really changes. Yeah. Self-pity can be a real killer.
It can be. And I'm very well versed in the language of self-doubt and self-destruction. So sometimes whenever I talk to a friend and I hear them talking, I'm like, hey man, as someone with experience, I think your mental space is shit right now. And you're projecting a lot of stuff and assuming a lot of things that are just you needing to be in tune with yourself.
Exactly.
So go take care of that and come back in like 10 minutes and just know that you're good. You're okay, man. Like you're probably trying to do too much like all of us and you'll be okay.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
It is. Well, I mean,
it's amazing.
Especially when you become a parent, you immediately assume you should be able to do all these things. And it's like, why? Why did you assume you should be able to do all this stuff?
And I think a lot of people, when you're looking at a screen portraying, or you're reading a bio of this parent they've written 3 books and and they've got this and that happened. And you're like, okay, there's this ladder that we want to get on. And that becomes this conversation that I have with myself that is not a helpful conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're giving me inspiration, like, I think of like, these like it's in this, but like somebody
Hmm.
who's like putting together something that is amazing to me, and I'm like, great. But if I'm just gonna beat myself up about it that I haven't done something, then I stop that
Yeah.
pretty damn quick.
Yeah. But a younger version of myself had more the like comparison edge to it of like,
Yeah,
why can't I should be able to do this too because this person can do it. And I'm
yeah,
more inclined now to be like, hey, I'm glad that person figured that out because I don't know how to
yeah.
do that.
That's right, exactly. It's so great. Somebody's got it done.
Someone figured it out. It's not me. It's not going to be me. And to not view that as failure because that's communicated to you as like, oh, so you must have failed then. And it's like, no, I have limits and that's okay.
Right. And I think it winds up being a thing of like, just like when it's like, and I tell people when they're parents, it's like there's so little time. If there's a way you can slow this thing down a little bit to really drink in the moment, because they go and they're out of the house. I mean, my kids are gone. I mean, it's like, I remember one of my best friends, he used to tell me, well, we're counting down the weekends before his son left for college. And
Yeah.
he was like, I'm making every single one of these weekends count. And I was like, that was awesome. And I always remember that because it goes fast, especially when they're babies, infants. You think time is like, oh, this is taking forever. I don't know how long I can deal with this. And the next
Right.
thing you know,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
It's the dream.
My oldest daughter turns 10 in like a month.
Mhm.
And it's crazy because that means she should only have 8 more years of living at home. Like realistically, in about 8 years, she
That's right.
should be leaving to go to college, start her next chapter of her journey and everything.
That's right.
And I'm not gonna act like that's not weird as hell to realize that like half of my time of her being at home is done
Yeah.
already. Like, and
It's a
that
mind blower.
it is a mind blower because I can't remember what life was like before she was in our life. And I have no idea. Like, I also don't want to comprehend that there'll be a day in which she doesn't live here anymore. But also, she should be able to go live on her own, like, and not be that dependent on me.
Well, isn't that's our job, right? Is to
It
make
is.
them completely independent of
Yes.
us
Yeah.
somehow.
Well, and what other job have you ever held in which you're not replaceable, but at some point in time you aren't needed is kind
Yeah,
of the goal. And let me know if you figure that out because I don't know if I will.
it's definitely it helped me getting into the Zen aspect of parenting
Hmm.
because there's paradoxes all through it.
Constant
It's like
paradoxes.
the paradoxes are just real. My goodness. So learning to live with the paradoxes, I think, is where
Yeah,
some peace comes in,
I
and
think
you
so.
can kind of settle in.
Yeah. That tension. I think any spiritual person who is willing to discuss the tension of existence as opposed to here's the answer, you do this. I'm like, no, man,
Right.
life is just constant tension and like how did I handle it today? That's and what's my like anchor, what's my mantra, what's my centering moment? Because when the tension of life hits me, I'm not always gonna be nice. I'm not always gonna
Right.
like this. So how do I put my ego aside and be more accepting of existence? Because that's gonna lead to a healthier version of self, you know?
Wow. Yeah, that's profound. Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's good.
Well, I mean, you're on the same journey, man. You know, you look up some
Yeah.
days and you're like, I'm pissed at everything, and that's not good.
Yeah.
And I don't like being this person. So how do I stop
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. I think it's definitely pretty much every day around 10 o'clock in the morning. Do I hate every client we have? What has
Yeah.
happened to me?
Yep. And it's just because people have needs, and you're trying to meet needs, and
Yeah.
realistically, you can only meet so many needs. Whenever I don't know, whenever I feel like I've done something that I fail at, I'm not always the most gracious. So that's
Right.
it's reality.
Well, this is truth. This is, as my daughter would say, truth.
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 Truth bomb. Before we start wrapping up and everything, I do want to ask you about like, would you rather talk about like before we get to the end? Would you rather talk like the documentary or your new album? Because I know you've got two pretty cool creative things coming out this year. Which one do you want to highlight a little bit more?
Well, the documentary, I'll say this about the documentary.
Hmm.
Right now, we've kind of stopped doing the shows with the documentary,
Hmm.
but the documentary is available to be purchased.
Okay.
So we've got it in Blu-ray and DVD, and it's really an awesome little package. I mean, it's like, and we're selling them. It's a great night of entertainment, no
Okay.
doubt. And there's a
Yeah.
fun, like the DVD has a couple of commentaries that we do that are very funny.
Cool.
And then it has a making of, it has the tour with 5/8 in the documentary. So there's like a bunch of footage of us, doing the Q&As in different cities and doing the shows and talking about, with the fans. And, we just had, it was a great moment for us. And then the new record is tough to talk about because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But we're really excited about. We have a new single out, which is "I'm Alone and I Long to Be Lonely," which I imagine a lot of parents would get that.
Yep.
My wife was like, the only reason I can let you write, you can come out with this song is because I know when you wrote it, we were in the pandemic, and it was just people were fighting over who could, I think I've got COVID. I'm going to need to shelter in place in the other room.
Yeah.
It was like, when you've got everybody in the house, just that was crazy. So anyway, so that we're excited about the record, and we'll go out to South by Southwest this spring, and then we'll start touring on it. So we've got some shows coming up.
And I mean, that makes sense that like you're getting back into music a little bit now that you're an empty nester is the word for it. But like, yeah, if you don't got the kids at home,
it's not a freaking empty nest.
You got in-laws, man. You got people everywhere.
Got some fucking. There's no empty nest. Me and Kelly were walking the dogs this morning. There was like 5 cars out there. There's like kids and their significant others slept over. I was like, it was like
this nest is not empty.
There's 9 people in this fucking nest.
Okay, so maybe the tour is more for you to get away for a little bit.
I'm telling you, if I could get away. Yeah, that's what that happening. Now.
Yeah. All joking aside, but I've talked to plenty of musician dads who are like, you know what? Realistically, me getting on a stage, creating, being out here and stuff energizes me in a way that whenever I come back, I'm a nicer person. So it's good for me to go on tour sometimes.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just bringing in all this new stuff. Touring is a whole different animal. Touring with children is really hard.
Yeah.
That was a lonely, crazy, miserable thing. When they're little and they don't understand it, and I'm on the phone. In those days, we didn't have cell phones. It was pay phones. It was fucking hard. It really, there was a reason why 5/8 crumbled in 97, no doubt. And part of it was because my marriage had basically caved, and the kids were not happy.
No. Which, I mean, you said you did like 200 shows a year. So, I mean,
you missed everything. Every special date, any special performance, anything with those children were not happening.
Yep. And I mean, when you're little, like physical presence is what they understand. So if
all they know.
If you aren't physically around, you're just absent.
Yep.
And that's brutal. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It makes me grateful for the full story arc of a relationship, because it sounds like you're now in a position in which like your kids kind of understand. You've been able to do the work to like have a working relationship with them as adults, and to some extent.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, for me, just making sure that I'm in touch with them when we get together is really, really important. But everybody, in modern society, people move away so easily.
Yeah.
So it is really hard to make sure that you're, staying relentlessly in touch with them. And I do. I'm relentless. I'm kind of probably annoying. Look, I just talked to you last week, Dad.
But still,
I'm calling you all the time.
It's really fun.
I love them.
Yeah, it's really
it's like they're amazing.
The reality is like you're trying to figure out how to communicate that you care.
Yes.
And like and sometimes communicating that you care annoys people. So that's always a fun balance. Like, why are you calling me again? Because I love you. Like, I'll call you. I'm just going to be I'm going to be blunt with my intentions. I'm calling you because I love you and I want to know what's going on with your day. If that pisses you off, then I'm sorry. Kind of.
Yeah, it's great. I don't have any complaints. With the ones that, I had stopped touring for the second marriage, so I was really there for everything.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm sure that took some soul searching, some realization of, hey, if I'm doing this again, I'm doing it right. I'm not going to repeat what I did before. So let's make sure I do this differently.
Yeah, that was definitely a conscious decision. What's like intentional for sure.
Yep. The only thing I hate about intentionality is I only know I need to be more intentional because of how many times I wasn't intentional. And that sadly is usually what corrects me to be more intentional.
Pain is the touchstone for growth. No doubt
Sadly, it
about it.
is. Sadly, it is. Why can't I just be that self-aware that I can predict my, how I'm inconveniencing people and make the corrections before the conflict,
No. God, do I know.
But, okay. So to wrap up the episode, how I end
Yes.
every episode is I ask every guest a series of 5 questions. They're just kind of fun. They aren't rapid fire or anything.
Okay.
I'll go with the first one. I'm going to mix this one up a little bit from what I normally ask. You have 5 kids. Did you have a least favorite kids show? Like, did you have a show that whenever they would watch it, you would be like,
Yeah.
this is crap. I hate this. I'm going to leave the room. Did you have any show like that? You can have more than one.
Teletubbies was rough for me.
Yeah.
I tried so hard to understand what was
What the hell
like.
is this?
It was just beyond my ability to comprehend Teletubbies. Captain Underpants, I just never could not.
It's
do
so
this
much
show.
nonsense. It's so much nonsense. It's a lot. It's a lot of noises. It's a lot of flashing stuff. It is very stimulating.
Yeah. And yeah, so those were the 2 that come to mind that were super popular and utterly reprehensible.
I mean, to me, for Teletubbies, the question was always, what drug was I supposed to take?
Right. God, I know. No, it's like, I mean,
There's
I grew
something.
up on, I grew up on old. I'm like a boomer, so I was Mr. I was like Zoom
Captain
and
Kangaroo?
Sesame Street, Captain Kangaroo. Yes, I do. I know I can sing Captain Kangaroo's theme music. So yeah, so it was very different.
Yeah.
Very different. Batman, the
Yeah.
old Batman, that kind of stuff. And
Very
there
much.
was tons of great stuff, but those 2 weren't.
Those 2 are bad. Those 2 are very brutal. Next question. Do you have a favorite like TV or movie dad?
Most TV dads sucks.
They do. Not so much anymore. They've gotten better. But
I don't watch those shows. So I came from like The Sound of Music was like, there's the worst dad ever, right? Who changes into the dad that couldn't possibly be, right? He's like, he undergoes this metamorphosis.
Yeah.
So in a way, I identified with him in many ways because it's like that old boomer, and into she brings him through this whole process of like learning that his kids are human beings, and that's pretty, for that time frame, was pretty amazing. But certainly, I mean, for TV shows, there's like, I mean, I was thinking of just all the stupid dad shows that I know from Boomerland, so
That's
can't
fair,
go
man.
there.
That's okay. You can do the dad from Sound of Music, okay?
Yeah. I'm
We'll
gonna
go
just
with that.
roll with. It's a brutal one though.
Next question. I don't know if you would have one. Did you ever have a replacement curse word? Like what you would say instead of cursing if you stubbed your toe around your kids, anything like that? Or did you just say the F word? Or did you just curse?
No, I had replacement words all the time.
Okay.
So now I have to go back and remember the.
Just close your eyes. It's the middle of the night. You stepped on a Lego walking to the bathroom. What do you say in this moment?
There was a great one I used to do all the time, and I can't think of it right now. That's so sad. And I'm like, I should have listened to the end of the podcast and got these questions.
You're okay.
I'm killing myself right now.
You're right.
Bring it on. I mean, a lot of times I would just be like, shoot skis was one. I mean, it was like shiitake mushroom was another one.
Shiitake
mushroom, baby.
That's awesome. I do sound effects. I'm more prone to do sound effects.
Like, well, yeah, Fubar.
Fubar. Yeah,
this was another funny one I would go with.
Those work. Yeah. Those work. Those are good.
Yeah.
Next question. What was like one of your favorite activities to do, or what is like one of your favorite activities or like toy that you would play with your kids?
Legos was the number one thing.
Okay.
Legos was hours and hours of craziness.
Yeah.
All of them were, it went through the, I guess there's really 20 years of children.
Yeah.
So everybody played Legos. And then, of course, we used to do these amazing games of like, I would call almost parkour level tag on playgrounds.
That's awesome.
Mean, and I showed them how to play Kick the Can, which was like, with ghosts and everything. It was like we had a super involved. Yeah, so you could have like a ghost, where it was sort of like the way, Pac-Man, everybody turns into a ghost for a second and you can get free.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
so
I thought
but yeah,
for a second there, I was like, do you treat the wind like the ghost? Like the wind blows the can and you're like, there's a ghost or something like that.
that was more like now you're ghost and you can get out of prison. It was like, free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Man,
those were two super awesome ones.
cool. I love like playgrounds as an adult is kind of funny. Or like, yeah, watching your kids play on them is always really fun.
Right.
And also like dangerous at the same time because my kids will want to climb on the outside of the playset. And I
Yeah,
know
absolutely.
I know I did that as a kid, but I'm also as a
Yeah.
grown up now, I'm like, stop it. You're not allowed to do this. Please don't do this.
Man, we were kind of crazy. So we had I built this crazy tree house and the kids called it the murder slide because it was like it was like I didn't do the angle right as a construction
No.
worker. I did it like way over the angle. So it would like just kids would go flying off the slide. I mean, they would come over and people would just be
Did you have a liability like a waiver before?
we needed them because we threw some really insane Halloween parties where I would do a complete haunted house in the basement.
Cool, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I would take the kids down there and I would have like one of those little plastic candles and I'd be in people cried. People left crying. It was rough.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But it was great memories.
Sweet. And then last question I'm going to do you remember like any backup names for your kids? Do you remember like what you almost named them? Anything like that?
We have some pretty rough ones. I mean, Gabriel was almost called Elvis. It was so close because his birthday was the day after Elvis's birthday. So it was like, if he was born on the 8th of January tomorrow, he might have been named Elvis, which would have been the worst thing we could have done.
Yep.
And then Dylan was almost named Maximum Mantione.
No.
We were fucking around. Yeah, I was like, he's Maximum. That sounds kind of cool. It's like, we'll call him Max, but the real name will be Max. Somehow,
I'm glad you did not.
My poor wife, you're probably thinking, Jesus Christ.
That poor one. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, oh God. Yeah, so those are famous.
Okay.
The kids know, everyone's had a laugh. People are questioning my sanity,
right?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It's great as a gimmick. Maximum Mantione is great as a gimmick, as a stage name. Fantastic.
Exactly, right?
Now, going through kindergarten, first grade, second grade.
They find a way anyway. You'll name a kid anything, and just for some reason, kindergarten's it's brutal. But middle school's even worse. I mean, when they get to middle school, it gets bad. Cool.
Can wait. Some people say, I can't wait. I can wait. I can. My daughter, my oldest is in 4th. I can wait. I'm not looking forward to 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
It's pretty intense. Hold off on phones as long as you possibly can.
We will. That's our plan. The school system
I'm
we're
sure
in.
Everybody's. Yeah. I'm sure everyone's told you that. If they haven't, let me be the one to tell you.
Yeah.
Especially with girls.
Yes.
You don't want them. You don't want them anywhere near social media.
Nope. And our school system is very much like, is one of those that does very much like, hey, no phones in schools, like none of that. It's like across the board. So
don't give them a watch. Don't give them anything. Monitor internet. It's brutal out there. It's not like anything you can imagine.
It's not. And then last thing for you is just a moment for self-promotion. So, if we want to find your music, do you do much on socials, anything like that? Like, hey, if we want to follow you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're on Instagram and it's 58 Athens Band. We're on Facebook, of course. We're on TikTok. So
cool.
And it's spelled out.
Thanks for hanging out for a bit, man. Thanks for being a good hang. Thanks for talking about life, music, creativity, and the chaos of all of this.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Devin. Thanks for doing what you do.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's really encouraging. I think it means a lot. I know you know this as a creative person. You create, you do stuff, and you're like, I hope this connects. And whenever it does, you're like, oh, thank God. I'm so glad this connects.
It totally does.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never at Face Network. Make sure to go to neveratfacenetwork.com to learn more about them.